What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. My name is Bondi Johnson. I am the founder and part owner of Roasted Coffee Company. For those of you who are new here, this channel's about all things coffee and business. Today's video is coffee. It's about beans, and I'm gonna talk about the coffees that we have in our signature roasts, and I'm gonna talk about why we have those in there, as well as shed a little bit of light on those coffees themselves. We're gonna dive right into that, but first, huge shout out to Thomas, who sponsored this video with his coffee. Verde Valley Coffee Company. I had it, and in just jotting down some notes, I finished it. So normally I will drink my coffee throughout the course of the videos, but you know what? This was so damn good, I just finished it right away. Thomas, one of the best light roasts I have had in a while. I love the packaging. It's super, super clean, as you guys can see. And then huge shout out to him for his actual packaging, what he delivers his coffee in. Take a look at that. If you guys like the look of this and you're trying to figure out how to package your coffee, Thomas, if you'd be so kind to put down in a comment where you get your packaging and what it costs you. I mean, obviously, I don't want you to be giving out all your secrets, but at the same time, I know it'd be helpful for a lot of people. So give me a light roast. We got the medium, and they all got names. This is Mingus Medium, Beaver Creek Blonde, and then Dead Horse Dark. Kind of afraid to try this one, but hey, you know, makes it fun. So, getting right into the video, I really need to make this video pretty quick, because if not, I'll ramble. There's a lot to cover, so I'm gonna just try to be fast and to the point. But I will be putting out a coffee vlog style video like I do from time to time. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes around coffee and then not around coffee. So in like my everyday life, and then also in coffee business. So I'll have to cover that in a different video. It's too much to get in here. We recently had a Zoom call at 7 o'clock in the morning with the Ledyard Rotary Club. Honestly, it was a great conversation. All those people were awesome. One guy came off his microphone at one point, and he was sitting there like this the whole time, and then he came off and somebody asked about decaf, and he goes, "Decaf's for wimps," puts his microphone back on me and leans back, and I was like, this guy, he's onto something. He knows. So anyways, moving into the video, I'll cover a bunch of other stuff in the other video, but I want to talk about coffee beans. So we have 3 signature roasts, which if you've been following me, you probably know that because you've probably been on my website. We have the Hot Blonde, the Roasted at Home, and Southern Roots. Now, all of these things kind of came to just naturally, like I'll say organically. The names, it was just one of those things, like somebody said it and we're like, that's it. Roasted at Home started because I was roasting the coffee at a store called At Home in Georgia for a while. And then we just decided to name it Roasted at Home, and we've just kept that name. Southern Roots, obviously, I started this coffee roasting company down in Florida, which is where I am now, but now that we're up in Connecticut, it doesn't really matter. Southern Roots became a coffee of ours, just given that our roots are, you know, based in the South. If that helps anybody, I know coming up with names can be hard. Try to think of what motivated you to make a coffee or make a certain roast or blend. What motivated you to get started in the business in the first place? It really helps kind of just get some good ideas going, and they're meaningful. It's not just a name that's, you know, a name just because. Like, to me, that just kind of kills what could be a really cool opportunity to tell a story and say, well, it's the name of the coffee because X, Y, and Z, right? And that's something that we've been really trying to keep incorporated in our company. Let's start with Hot Blonde. Hot Blonde, Roasted at Home, Southern Roots, that's light, medium, dark. If you're trying to figure out what coffees you should offer as a roaster, I say just hit that first, because when people come to me and say, oh, you have a coffee roasting company, I would love to try it. The first thing that I say to them is, well, how do you like your coffee? Light, medium, dark, because that's what they know. That's what most people know. They're not gonna say, well, you know, I really like a City 2+, but sometimes, you know, a full City can be a great coffee if you're gonna be doing like a more of a, you know, a good caramelized sugar, something from a Costa Rica. You don't have that conversation. They're like, well, I like the darker the better. Great, I'm gonna send you Southern Roots, right? Or I like my coffee light, you know, I'm one of those, I'm with it, I'm hip. I know about coffee. I like light roasts. I like Starbucks blonde roast. I'm like, oh, cool, so you still want a dark coffee? I'm kidding. But it's really helpful for you trying to market to your customers to just say, I have a light, medium, and dark, and start there. Anybody you can talk coffee with them. But that's our initial lineup. That's what you should probably start with, just to make it simple. But diving into what's in the coffees, we have the hot blonde is our light roast, and that has an Ethiopian and it has a Guatemalan. So the Ethiopian is from the Yirgacheffe region, and I'm open to start a debate, but it's Yirgacheffe, not Yirgacheffe. I think it was about 2 years ago. I don't know exactly, so I won't say for sure, but pretty sure the guy was from this region that I spoke to, and he was like, it's Yirgacheffe, it's not Yirgacheffe. I'm 99.99% sure. Anyways, I'll move on. That's a topic for a different discussion. This is a small region in Sidamo, and it is known for being fruity and floral, but not all Ethiopian coffees, not even all Ethiopian Yirgacheffe coffees are fruity and floral. So keep that in mind as you're trying to find coffees to blend. This one's extremely fruity, extremely floral, and in fact, it's my favorite single origin that we offer. Of all the Ethiopian coffees from this region, this one from ICT blows them out of the water. This I could drink it all day. And I'm not just saying that to promote this single origin, which you can buy on our website, but ICT sells it for like 150 pound minimum quantity, so go for it, buy it. But we have it, highly suggest you try it. This is a washed heirloom. It grows at about 1,800 meters, and that's typical of Ethiopian coffees, higher altitude, and it really is a fantastic coffee to have in a light roast because it's really unique, and people opens their eyes to them being like, whoa, coffee can taste like this? I'm used to just like dark, bitter, roast, nothing. We pair that with a Guatemalan, and this Guatemalan is from the Huehuetenango region. And this coffee's it's also got a lot of unique fruity notes to it, but it also is pretty well balanced. So it's a pretty medium coffee, more towards the light side, but it's a medium body, it's medium acidity. This balances the Ethiopian that we have, because the Ethiopian we have is bright acidity. It's a very light body. It's more tea-like than it is coffee. So I don't like that per se, to have as a light roast, because I still want it to feel like a coffee. It's important to me when selling it. So we paired those coffees, the Guatemalan to promote the fruitiness, but also balance it out and give it some more body. So that's our hot blonde, that's our light roast. Move on to the medium. Roasted at home. Roasted at home has a Honduras, and it has a Monsoon Malabar. Now the Honduras is from the Marcala region. These are very sweet coffees. So this coffee is the sugar's caramelized really, and they hold really well. So you have a lot of the caramel flavors, the chocolate flavors. It's a very sweet, honey-like coffee. And I think that's great in a medium roast because the sweetness just makes it super enjoyable. But we balance that out with the Monsoon Malabar because that coffee it's in the Kerala region in India. So Kerala, India is very southern India. And the Monsoon Malabar comes from that region. It's monsooned heavily often, so it's a very wet growing region, and it has these really unique wooden, almost earthy characteristics to it. But overall, it's a very clean, subtle cup of coffee. So it pairs really well, and it lets the sweetness of the Honduras coffee shine through. But it also puts a little bit of something else in there, so you're like, this is a really interesting coffee. Like I can't put a thumb on it. And that's what I like about those two coffees. They pair really well together. It's a great balance. The Monsoon Malabar is a little bit of a lighter body, but the Honduras is, because of it's very sugary, it's dense, it's heavy. They balance each other out. So that's the roasted at home. Our Southern Roots, moving right along. Our dark roast, our darkest roast as of yet, unless you order a single origin, you want it scorched, we'll do that for you. The Southern Roots has in it a Sumatran, and I have some of the coffee information right here just to make sure I'm not messing anything up. And this is from Aceh. I think it's pronounced Aceh. This one I don't know. It's ACEH, and this is a very, very popular coffee growing region in Sumatra, which is in Indonesia. These coffees grow lower. It's about 1,400 meters above sea level, and they're known for having that pipe tobacco, fig, black currant, kind of smoky flavor to them. That's why it's in our dark roast. A lot of coffees that you roast dark such as an Ethiopian, they shine. They really perform at a light roast because the unique origin, the characteristics of that origin shine through. You roast it until you start to develop and let those compounds get active, but you don't go so far that you actually roast those compounds out. Well, these Sumatran coffees are very dense and they hold up to a dark roast. So as you roast dark, you have that nice smoky flavor, but you also are pulling out that pipe tobacco. Like that fits, right? The dark roast with some pipe tobacco, black currant, fig, and that's why we like them. They not only hold on to their flavors, but it pairs well with the inevitable smoky roast flavor that you get in a darker roast. What we do differently is we pair this with a Costa Rican, one of my favorite Costa Ricans, a Costa Rica Terrazú. This is hands down, if you haven't tried a Terrazú Costa Rican, you have to. I think it's some of the best coffee that you can get. This one in particular is fantastic. This one grows about probably 1,700 meters above sea level. Very, very sweet, like a malty sweetness with a medium acidity. But what it does is it allows us to roast this to, just before full city, not too dark so that it holds on to some of that sweetness. And in our dark coffee, we just kind of sneak in some of that sweetness for people who claim they only like dark coffees. I'm like, well, have you ever tried one that might have something more to offer, like some lighter, fruitier, more acidic, sweeter flavors? And we have that in there. People love it as a dark roast. And it's not your typical dark roast. It's got a lot more going on. So without diving into, I could talk about this for probably hours as to how we ended up coming up with these combinations and why we pair these coffees together. But this is something that every roaster has to go through. It's a lot of trial and error, but as you get to know coffees more and more, it's easier for you to just kind of pick some things out and ultimately be close first try, and then maybe just work the roasts. We never pre-blend, sorry. So every coffee that we roast it individually, and then we pair it. And that allows us to maximize each individual roast. Costa Rican is roasted at a certain level. Sumatran's roasted at a completely different level, different speed, temperature, everything. It allows us to roast each individually, get the best flavor from each coffee, and then put them together in one beautiful coffee. So that's it in a nutshell. 2 books for you guys today. This one is underrated. It's called Coffee Obsession. And this dives into not only coffee, but equipment, different sort of roasting equipment, cupping equipment, grinders, everything, where to buy coffee. And it has some fantastic information on different growing regions. So highly suggest that. I'll put a link down in the description of where you can get that book. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is the business book for today. I have read this multiple times, a lot, and it honestly changed my life. So not to be dramatic, but it really has. I highly suggest it. That's it for today. Like I said, another video will come that has a lot more catching up. Apologize, it's been a while since I posted a video. Thank you all for the continued support. I love the messages. Thank you all for the coffee. Seriously, getting sent coffee to try is like a dream come true. So I really appreciate it, and this is a priority for me. Absolutely is a priority. So I'm staying on top of it and doing all that I can to get videos out to you and relevant content. So hopefully you guys found something in that video that you enjoy. Hopefully you found some useful information that you can put into your own business, or if you're just getting started, kind of put it in the back of your head so that you're aware of it and thinking of it. And other than that, I hope everybody has a happy Easter, which is when I'm recording this video. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.